I missed it. The answer I'd been looking for. It was right there the whole time, not hidden or obscure or buried somewhere deep, just quiet. So quiet that I couldn't hear it over the noise I was making. I was 26, sitting in my apartment at 3 a.m, scrolling through my phone like I was going to find the meaning of life somewhere between Instagram stories and Reddit threads, looking for answers everywhere except the one place they actually were. In the silence I was so desperate to avoid. That's when I realized something. The universe doesn't shout. It doesn't send you a text message or an email or a sign written in the sky. It whispers. And if you're not quiet enough to hear it, you just keep searching. We live in a world that never stops talking. Every device is beeping. Every app is notifying. Every person is posting. We're drowning in information and starving for wisdom, surrounded by voices and completely unable to hear our own. And we think that's normal. We think that's just how life is now. But really, it's just noise. Noise designed to keep us distracted, to keep us consuming, to keep us from sitting still long enough to realize we don't actually need most of what we're chasing. I used to fill every moment with something. Music in the shower, podcasts on the drive, Netflix while eating dinner, phone in hand the second I woke up. I told myself I was staying informed, staying connected, staying productive. But really, I was just staying distracted, running from something I couldn't name. Because silence is uncomfortable. When everything gets quiet, you have to face what's actually there. Your thoughts, your feelings, the things you've been avoiding, the questions you don't want to answer. The truth about what you really want and what you're actually doing with your life. So we keep the noise going. We keep ourselves busy. We manufacture urgency out of nothing. We convince ourselves that the next notification might be important. The next scroll might show us something we need to see. The next distraction might finally make us feel okay. But here's what I learned. Every minute you spend running from silence is a minute you spend running from yourself. And you can't hear the universe when you're too busy drowning it out. I had a relationship that fell apart because neither of us knew how to be quiet together. Every moment of silence felt like a problem that needed to be solved. Like if we weren't talking or watching something or doing something, we were failing. So we filled the space with words that meant nothing, with plans we didn't care about, with background noise masquerading as connection. And we missed everything. We missed the small moments where real intimacy lives. We missed the chances to actually see each other. We missed what was actually happening between us because we were too busy pretending everything was fine, keeping the conversation going, filling the air with anything but honesty. She tried to tell me once. We were driving somewhere, and she turned off the music, just sat there, and I immediately reached to turn it back on. She stopped my hand and said, "Can we just be quiet for a minute?" And I couldn't. I made a joke, asked what was wrong, did everything except what she was asking me to do. Just be quiet. Just be present. I think about that a lot. How uncomfortable I was with silence. How it felt like something I needed to fix or fill or escape. How I chose noise over connection because connection required me to be still. And I didn't know how to do that anymore. The universe was trying to tell me something. Not through her words, but through the silence between them. Through the space she was creating for something real to happen. But I couldn't hear it. I was too busy running. That's what most of us do. We ask for answers, and then make sure we're too distracted to receive them. We say we want clarity, and then fill every moment with confusion. We claim we're searching for meaning while actively avoiding the only place it exists. In the quiet. I see it everywhere now. People at dinner scrolling through their phones. People at the gym watching videos between sets. People walking down the street with earbuds in, cutting themselves off from the world they claim to want to experience. We've become so afraid of our own thoughts that we'll do anything to avoid them. But your thoughts are where the answers are. Your intuition knows things your conscious mind hasn't figured out yet. Your body is trying to tell you what's wrong. Your heart knows what you actually want, but you have to get quiet enough to hear it. I started practicing silence a few years ago. Not meditation, not some structured thing, just silence. Sitting in my apartment with nothing on, walking without headphones, eating a meal without looking at my phone, and it was excruciating at first. My brain would scream for stimulation. I'd feel anxious, restless, like I was wasting time or missing something. But slowly, things started to surface. Thoughts I'd been avoiding, feelings I'd been suppressing, truths I already knew but hadn't wanted to acknowledge. The job I hated, the relationship that was wrong, the person I was pretending to be, the life I was building that didn't actually fit. None of this was new information. I'd known it all along. I just hadn't been quiet enough to hear it, hadn't been still enough to let it become real. Because once you hear it, once you really acknowledge what you know, you have to do something about it. And that's scary. That requires change. That means admitting you've been going the wrong direction. So we keep the noise going. We keep ourselves too busy to think. We fill our lives with obligations and distractions and other people's opinions. We ask for advice from everyone except ourselves. We look for answers everywhere except the one place they've always been. Inside. Waiting. Whispering. The universe doesn't yell because it doesn't need to. Real truth is quiet. It doesn't have to compete for your attention. It doesn't have to be louder than everything else. It just has to be there when you finally stop running. That's why all the loudest voices in your life are usually wrong. The ones screaming at you to buy this, believe that, do this, become that. The ones telling you what you should want, what you should fear, what you should care about. They're loud because they have to be. Because they're trying to drown out the quiet voice inside you that already knows better. Your intuition doesn't shout. Your wisdom doesn't compete. Your truth doesn't need to convince you. It just waits. Patient, consistent, always there. Whispering the same thing over and over until you finally get quiet enough to hear it. I think about people who've gone through something big. A loss, a crisis, a collapse of everything they thought they knew. And they all say the same thing. They say it forced them to get quiet, forced them to stop and listen, forced them to face what they'd been avoiding. And in that forced silence, they found something they'd been searching for their whole lives. Themselves, their truth, their actual path. But you don't have to wait for a crisis. You can choose silence now. You can choose to turn off the noise and sit with what's actually there. It won't be comfortable. It won't feel productive, but it might be the most important thing you ever do, because the universe is always talking to you, always guiding you, always showing you the next step, but it's not going to text you. It's not going to show up as a notification. It's going to whisper through your gut feeling, through your recurring thoughts, through the things that keep coming up no matter how hard you try to ignore them, and you'll miss all of it if you're not quiet enough to hear it. You'll keep searching for answers in books and podcasts and advice from strangers. You'll keep asking other people what you should do with your life. You'll keep looking outside for something that's only ever found inside. The answers you're looking for, they're already there. You already know what you need to do. You already know what's right and what's wrong. You already know who you are and what you want. You've always known. You're just not quiet enough to hear it yet. So maybe that's the practice. Not searching harder. Not looking further, not asking more people for their opinions, just getting quiet, just sitting still, just turning off the noise long enough to hear what's already there. Start small, 5 minutes without your phone, a walk without headphones, a meal without the TV. Just you and your thoughts, just you and the silence. See what comes up. See what you've been avoiding. See what your life has been trying to tell you. It won't give you everything at once. The universe doesn't work like that, but it'll give you the next step, the next truth, the next thing you need to know, and then another, and another. Until slowly, you realize you've been having a conversation with yourself this whole time. You were just too busy to notice. I still struggle with it. Still reach for my phone in moments of stillness. Still fill the air with noise when the quiet gets uncomfortable. But I'm trying to remember that the universe only whispers to the quiet. And if I want to hear it, I have to stop drowning it out. Maybe you do too. Maybe there's something you've been searching for that's been there all along. Maybe there's a truth you already know but haven't been still enough to acknowledge. Maybe there's a voice inside you that's been trying to speak, but you've been too loud to hear it. The universe is patient. It'll wait. It'll keep whispering. Same message, over and over, until you finally turn down the noise and listen. Until you finally get quiet enough to hear what you've always known. And maybe that's when everything changes. Not because you found something new, but because you finally heard what was already there. In the silence, in the stillness, in the space between all the noise. That's where the truth lives. That's where you find yourself. That's where the universe has been waiting, whispering, this whole time.